Hello, good evening. Welcome to European North Basketball League action. We're live from Valmiera, Latvia, as Valmiera Glass hosts the Bristol Flyers. Flyers arrive into this one on a difficult run of form. Just one win in their last 11 games across all competitions. And last week summed it up in many ways. An overtime defeat at home to Fillingham Lions. It was a tough result to take for Coach Kapoulis' side, and a result that means tonight's game has taken on real significance. Simply put, if Bristol are to keep their ENBL playoff hopes alive, this is a must-win game. But the challenge is a serious one. Valmiera Glass come into tonight's game with momentum on their side, holding a 4-1 record in ENBL action so far. They've been one of the most consistent teams in the competition, playing with confidence and composure, and a win for them today would confirm their place in the ENBL playoffs. It's Valmiera Glass versus Bristol Flyers, and we're live from the Valmiera Olympic Centre in Latvia, and tip-off is right around the corner. A very warm welcome to you at home, wherever you're tuning in from around the world. My name is Joel Osborne. We'll be taking you through this game for the next couple of hours or so. We mentioned one of the key storylines for Bristol this evening is dealing with their busy schedule. They're in the midst of a 9-game month right now through January, and when results aren't going their way, fatigue and injuries can quickly start to build. But the Flyers know what they need to do. They know what's at stake tonight, and will need to dig deep if they want to keep their ENBL playoff hopes alive. And for Valmiera, they also know what's on the line. They've had an impressive campaign so far, going a perfect 3-0 right here on their home floor. And they are coming in off the back of an impressive 109-95 home win over VEF Riga in the Latvian Cup just 3 days ago. Well, let's talk you through tonight's team news, starting with the Bristol Flyers. And of course, the big news coming out of the club last week was the arrival of Evan Walsh to the team after Milos Duglic suffered a fractured ankle that will see him out for a minimum of 3 months. Jonathan Brown has been day-to-day on a hamstring issue, but he made his return to play on Friday night against the Surrey 89ers, and he remains in the squad for tonight's game. And let's talk you through the team news for Valmiera Glass. They are led by head coach Kaspars Vecvargas, as Werner's cause is listed out this evening. That makes way for 18-year-old Latvian junior international Jānis Kaunis into the rotation. Ones to watch for the visitors, the hosts tonight include number 5, Aniwaniwa Tate Jones, who is their leading scorer in the ENBL this season. He's averaging 15 points per game in European play. And of course, also the Flyers will have to look out for American guard Curtis Hollis off the bench. He wears number 0. He's a former Finnish Chorus Liga champion with Helsinki and a 2025 Seaball champion with the Niagara River Lions. He only joined the club midway through December, but has been averaging 15 points per game across his short spell with the club. Well, both coaches getting every second all the messages through to their players ahead of this one. An important game for both teams. Valmiera Glass are closing in on a playoff berth in the ENBL, whilst the Bristol Flyers are looking to keep their playoff hopes alive. Let's talk you through the starting 5s for both teams, starting with the Bristol Flyers. There's one change to the 5 that started against Surrey 89ers on Friday, as Darnell Brody comes into the 5 in place of Marcus Delpesh. It's Joe Anderson and Will Yoakum alongside Cam Holden, Zach Anderson and Brody in the middle. And as we look at the starters for the hosts, Valmiera Glass tonight, it's Dominikas Stenionis alongside Davis Ozers, Aniwaniwa Tate Jones. Artis 8 comes into the 5, and Rinalds Malmanis, number 88, the big man in the middle. Well, the Flyers have a great away record on the road in European play. They've won 5 of their last 6 in ENBL games away from home. It's the home form that's really troubled them in the campaign this season. But of course, they come up against the Valmiera side that are unbeaten on their home court in the ENBL this season. As both teams dap it up on the court, we are all set, ready to go. ENBL action is back underway. Well, that's going to be Brody and Malmanis who will go up for the opening jump ball here. Now we're live from the Valmiera Olympic Centre in Latvia, as Brody and Malmanis will jump this one up. And the opening jump ball is won by the Flyers, and Bristol will get this first possession. Here's Joe Anderson. Zach Anderson rolls to the basket, ends up with him. He puts it on the floor. Here's Joachim now, top of the key. Ball goes into Brody. Brody was looking for a backdoor pass there to Anderson. Just came off the foot of a defender, so the shot clock will be reset to 14 seconds. Holden to inbound. Gets it into Brody. Here's Anderson now. Anderson pulls up from 15 feet, no good. Brody couldn't keep hold of the offensive rebound. Here's Stenionis. Tate Jones. 3 points are on the way, off the back iron, no good. Rebound is bobbles around, but ends up in the hands of Anderson. Flyers can push in transition as Joachim, coast to coast, with the layup off the glass. And that's one thing that Bristol really need if they want to get an early lead in this one. Energy off the gate. That'll be a promising sign for Coach Kapoulas, as Flyers commit the foul on the defensive end. Well, pair of three throws coming up here for Dominykas Stenionis. He's a 23-year-old Lithuanian guard, averaging 14 points, 6 assists per game in the ENBL this season. Spent the last 6 seasons playing professionally in Lithuania before joining Valmiera over the summer. And he goes a perfect 2 for 2 from the line to tie things up at 2. Anderson to Holden. He hands off with Joachim. Ball goes into Holden. Holden looking for a post-up into a double. It's going to be a foul called on the floor. And that's one area the Bristol Flyers can really capitalise, Cam Holden's ability to pass out of the post. And you can see Valmiera straight away privy to it with that double team, just committing the foul with the contact. Well, I mean, Cam Holden gets to inbound from the baseline here. Holden gets it into Brody. Here's Joe Anderson. Shot clock is down to 6. Holden is guarded by 8. Anderson fires up a 3, splashes it from downtown. And again, promising signs for Bristol Flyers early in this game, as they almost come up with the steal, but it's going to be a 3-point play. As Aniwaniwa, Tate Jones, count it, and the foul. He will guard the line for a bonus. Well, Tate Jones, first pro season out of UC San Diego. 2025 Big West Player of the Year. Converts on a 3-point play to put Valmiera back level with Bristol. Here's Darnell Brody. Joachim, lefty drive, puts it up, is fouled. And will Joachim, chance to go to the free throw line here. You see Malmanis just overplaying that there, and he picks up the quick foul. And one thing that Bristol have really struggled with in recent weeks is their free throw shooting. No mistakes from Joachim on the first. And Joachim averaging 14 points a game in Europe this season. He knocks down the second. And I think there's a delay of game warning there after the free throw had gone through the hoop, so it'll be inbound for Valmiera. Joachim gets his hands on it. We'll stay with Valmiera, and I think Joachim may have thought it had come off a Valmiera player there, but see this full court pressure being shown by Bristol. I really like the way they've come out in this game so far. Two minutes gone in the first quarter. Flyers leading by 2. Stenionis. Screen comes from Malmanis. 8 fires up a 3. Ball bobbles out. Rebound into the hands of Anderson. It's ripped away. And here comes a new offense for the hosts. 3-pointer is up. 3-pointer is good. Anderson puts it on the floor, kicks it out to Joe Anderson for 3. He's short that time. Rebound gathered in by Tate Jones. Here comes another 3-pointer, this time off the back iron. Bit of a heat check for the hosts. Joachim. Ball goes into Brody. Brody spins into a double team. No foul given by the officials. Here comes Tate Jones the other way. Tate Jones going up against Anderson. Anderson knocks it loose. Ball goes back out to 8. It's going to be an offensive foul. Away from the ball on the screen. Anderson's all fired up. And possession will go back to the Flyers. Marcus Delpesh checks in for the first time this evening. Darnell Brody is the one to make way for him. Holden. Top to Delpesh. There's 10 on the shot clock here. Joachim. Screen comes from Delpesh and it's knocked away. And Hollis, instant impact off the bench as he pokes away the steal. Stenionis. Guarded by Anderson. Now Manis with the screen. Nice pass into Hollis and it just slips through his hands. Valmiera, just their second turnover of the game so far. As we approach the midway point of this first quarter. Joe Anderson, guarded by Stenionis. McCormack's into the game for the first time. Here he is with the ball, looking for Delpesh inside. It was great ball movement as Anderson with the assist, and Delpesh his first 2 points of the game. Stenionis, around the back pass into Malmanis, and it's ripped away by McCormack. Here come the Flyers in transition. Holden into Delpesh, drop step, puts it in. And a pair of back-to-back scores by the Flyers. Timeout called by Valmiera Glass because Bristol Flyers with an early lead. Welcome back to the Valmiera Olympic Centre in Latvia, where Bristol Flyers have had a hot start to this game so far. Out to an early 11-8 lead. And the last couple of possessions, they've been able to get it going in transition as well. Of course, with the busy schedule they've had and the small numbers they've had with injuries as well, That'll be huge for them to start this game. Question is, can they keep it up for the rest of this one? Here's a look at some of the key plays from this one so far. Well, Jokum's been aggressive inside, and it's the defense as well I've really been impressed with by the Flyers. Ozer's knocked down that 3 from the baseline. But Valmiera 1 for 4 to start this game from deep. And we are back underway here in Latvia. There's an ill-advised pass, and Anderson comes away with the steal. Ball out to Holden. Here's Anderson. 3-pointer on the way. And Anderson drains it from downtown. And again, Holden getting hands on it at the other end. There you see it, just got his foot on it in the end, it was. Dominika Stenionis. Three-pointer is up. Three-pointer is good. And a couple of times now they've been left open from 3. Three-point game. Ball lobbed up to Marcus Delpesh. He can't get it to go with the alley-oop. Vitols finds Stenionis. He's got a mismatch here with Delpesh on him. Hollis has it now. Shot clock down to 8. Stenionis likes this matchup with Delpesh. Steps back for 3, knocks it down. And a pair of back-to-back threes for Valmiera Glass. Ties things up at 14. So 4 minutes to go left in this opening quarter. Anderson, another three-pointer on the way. This time is short. Rebound by Valmiera. Tate Jones downhill, gets it to go. And Aniwaniwa, Tate Jones, super aggressive in transition. Somehow able to get that shot to go off the glass. McCormack, skip pass. Anderson fakes the 3, puts it on the floor, finds Delpesh inside. And he won't get it to go for 2, but will earn the trip to the free throw line. And again, you see the extra pass from Bristol that time. Unselfish play. Found Delpesh wide open in the middle. And he'll have to earn his 2 points the old-fashioned way. Oh no, it'll be an offensive foul even. Possession will go back to Valmiera here. Jonathan Brown's checked into the game for the first time. Here's Vitol. Three-pointer by 8, bobbles in and out. Brown couldn't quite get his hands on the rebound. It will be Jonathan Brown to inbound here. Again, a bit of full court pressure being shown by Vitols. 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Cormac with the screen. Top to Holden. Foul's going to be called on Curtis Hollis. Just called for reaching in there. See a couple of times Valmiera just gambling on that steal. And that time Hollis picks up the first. Into the game comes Pablo Juba for the first time. Here's Cam Holden. Out to McCormack. McCormack for 3. Knocks it down. And Bristol Flyers, a hot start to this game from deep. Now 3 for 5 from downtown in this first quarter. Vitols, he'll fire up another 3. He knocks it down. And it's turned into a shootout here in Latvia. Back-to-back threes. Anderson. Delpesh comes up to set the screen. Anderson, how about another one? How about another one? Back-to-back threes for the Flyers. Bristol on fire in this first quarter. Hollis, ball goes inside. Omar Pajic can't get it to go. McCormack with the rebound. Holden turns the corner, puts it into Delpesh. Delpesh with the reverse layup. And Bristol on top by 3 here. Hollis. Anderson dives on the loose ball. McCormack gets his hands on it. And it's going to go to the possession arrow here, which points towards Valmiera. Again, you see the active hands from Bristol, diving on loose balls, the hustle plays. Evan Walsh checks into the game for the first time. Of course, new addition to the team. It's part of that ENBL squad of the Flyers that competed last year. So he comes with that experience, now getting his first taste of ENBL action this season. Ball goes into 8. Another 3 drops. All tied up at 22 here. McCormack finds Walsh. Guarded by Hollis. Walsh dances in the lane, kicks it out to JB. He puts it on the floor. Walsh has it once again. Shot clock down to 6. Ball into Brody. Nice pass. And Walsh with the dime. Brody with the finish. Shot clock is turned off here. 5 seconds to go in the first quarter. 8 puts it up, is fouled. And he'll go to the free throw line with 0.8 on the game clock here. Chance to tie this one up at the end of the first quarter. Now Artis 8 at the line. 6'4", 36-year-old Latvian guard. He's averaging 12 points per game in the ENBL this season. Second season with Valmiera Glass. Chance to tie it here. And the game clock is different to the clock you see on your screen here. I think it was said 50 seconds to go, so there's still a couple of possessions left in this first quarter. Here's Hollis, count it, and the foul. And he'll go to the line for a 3-point play. See here, just the body control by Hollis. Able to somehow find a way to pull it in. And he'll go to the line for a 3-point play here. That's Valmiera in a 2-point lead. So there, yeah, you see it, 38 on the game clock. So the time you're seeing left on your screen is incorrect on the on-screen scoreboard. So 36 seconds left in this one. Brown. Swings to Walsh. Brody fighting for it inside, ends up with him. Puts it up, puts it in. Strong move by Darnell Brody. And once again, it's down to a 1-point game. Shot clock's turned off this time. 10 to go in the first quarter. Hollis, guarded by Walsh. Hollis pulls it back for 3. Can't get it to go. There's an offensive rebound. It's going to be a foul. There'll be a pair of free throws coming up here before the end of the first quarter. Bristol Flyers committed the foul there before the 2 free throws were up, so I think Valmiera will get a pair of free throws here. You see it there, it says 27-26 on your screen, but Valmiera will get a chance to extend that lead as we go into the huddles at the end of the first quarter. And that could be a big possession here. The officials are going to go take a look at it to see whether or not it was before the buzzer. But that'll be a kick in the teeth to Bristol there. They played good defense for pretty much that whole final possession, and then just to give away the foul on the offensive rebound. This could be a big decision here. But the foul was called after the offensive rebound, so Just checking to see whether the foul was called before or after the game clock expired. Well, a lengthy discussion here, and plays like this could be crucial if it's a tight game like this down the stretch. These are the moments that can win and lose games for teams. Both teams desperately in need of a win here tonight. Valmiera Glass, a win for them, secure their place in the ENBL playoffs, while the Flyers desperately need a win to get back on track with their season and keep their ENBL playoff hopes alive. Well, they're done looking at it, the officials. And it is going to be a foul called. So the foul was before the game clock expired. So a pair of free throws will come up here for Valmiera Glass. And then we'll go into the huddles at the end of the first. And it will be Davis Ozers to shoot the two. He's got 3 points so far tonight, 2 rebounds to his name in this game. He comes up short on the first. Second one is good. And that will do it. For the end of the first quarter, it is Valmiera Glass with a 2-point lead over the Bristol Flyers. They lead 28 points to 26. Welcome back to the Valmiera Olympic Centre in Latvia, where after the first 10 minutes, it is the hosts with a 2-point lead over the Bristol Flyers. Been a back and forth game between these two teams so far. Really exciting game to watch if you've just joined us. Here's a look at some of the key plays from this one so far. There's 3 players leading the way for the hosts with 5 points apiece. Meanwhile, Joe Anderson, 6 points. Marcus Delpesh also with 6 first quarter points. Back and forth between the two teams. They both know what's at stake. One team trying to punch their ticket to the playoffs. Another team trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. And from a Bristol Flyers point of view, they'll be looking to get back on track with their win here tonight. They've won just 1 in their last 11 games across all the competitions. They've had to fight through injury troubles as well. They've had the arrival of Evan Walsh hoping to bring a new spark to this team. And a busy schedule of games through January as well. But Bristol Flyers have come out with a lot of energy here in Latvia. Despite it being cold and snowy outside, they've brought the temperature in this game so far. And we are all set and ready to get back underway for the start of the second quarter. So it's going to be Brown, Walsh, Holden, McCormack and Brody to start the second period for Bristol. And we are officially underway. Screen comes from Brody. Here he is with the ball. Hands off with Cam Holden. Shot clock is down to 10. Walsh curls off the screen, looking for Brody. That's a beautiful offense by Bristol Flyers. And Darnell Brody with the finish. Stenionis into Hollis. Back Tracking down on Holden, spins, puts it in. And again, Hollis, that beautiful body control, finishes with the 2. Stolen by Valmiera, and ball is lobbed up, and JB does well to get that one. Great transition defense by the Flyers. He almost stopped a guaranteed 2 there. Here's a look. Yeah, the ball just came off the back of Holden, just a careless pass, really. But JB making up for it at the other end. The 2 is good by Malmanis. And Valmiera Glass lead by 4 here. Holden fakes the 3. Out top to Walsh. Calls for the screen from Brody. Brody rolling to the basket. Can't get it inside. And again, a couple of errant passes by the Flyers, but Brody wins it back. Holden to Walsh. Walsh, deep 3 ball. And Walsh puts it in as the shot clock expires. That brings Bristol back to within 1. Stenionis. With a 3-pointer on the way. This time it bobbles out, and Andy Waniwa, Tate Jones and Walsh both fighting for that one. As Walsh gets back to his feet. And he's going to stay here with Valmiera Glass. Last touch by the Flyers, say the officials. Stenionis to inbound, finds Hollis. Top 2, Stenionis. Almost loses it. Is he going to lose it? He does. Oh, he saves it. Incredible stave by the point guard. And he turns it over again. And now Walsh is leaking out in transition, and he puts it in. And Bristol Flyers turning defense into offense as they retake the lead here. Will Joachim returns to the game. Cam Holden makes way for him. We hit a small pocket of Bristol Flyers fans that have made the trip out to Latvia this week. Tate Jones fakes twice, kicks it out to Pajic for 3. He's no good, and Anderson with the rebound. Joachim out to Walsh. Brody calling for it inside. Lobbed into the big man. He puts it on the floor, fading away. And Darnell Brody has himself a game so far here. 8 points to his name so far. Stenionis. 3-pointer is up. Hollis trying to fight for the rebound, ends up in the hands of Tate Jones, and that will be a goaltend as Brody blocked it as it was on its way down. You can see it here on the replay. Yeah, just past the summit there, so the 2 will count for Valmiera Glass. Darnell Brody takes a seat. Marcus Delpesh comes back into the game. Anderson. Screen from Zach Anderson. Guarded by Stenionis. Now Walsh has it. Anderson still guarded by Stenionis. Into a double team. Ball into Joachim. And it just trickles in for 2. And again, Flyers able to really capitalise from those double teams in the post. Hollis, deep 3 ball. Way off the mark. Delpesh gathers in the rebound, and here comes Joe Anderson. Ball out to Zach Anderson for 3 is short. Walsh with the rebound though. Good hands by Hollis. And now Valmiera can break as Tate Jones to the basket is fouled by Joachim. And that'll send him to the line for 2. Oh, it may have been a goaltend even. The ball came off the backboard first. So the 2 will count again for Valmiera. And now be Bristol to put it into the baseline. Here's Joe Anderson. Flyers leading by 1 here. It's under 6.5 minutes to go till half-time. Holden, skip pass, Anderson finds Joachim. Now here's Delpesh. The hook shot is hits nothing but air there, and Joachim goes out of bounds while trying to save the ball. Ball in quickly here. Tate Jones spins. No good that time. Chases down the own rebound. Shot clock's at 10 though. Stenionis for 3 is short. And the foul is called on Joachim for on the rebound there. The foul was called away from the ball. Stenionis. Stenionis puts it on the floor. Nice move. What a finish. Dominikas Stenionis now up to 7 first-half points. McCormack back to Anderson from the elbow. Can't get it to go. There's Delpesh on the follow. And that is textbook Bristol Flyers. Second chance opportunities and offensive rebounds. Oh, Stenionis, what a move, what a pass. And a foul is called as Pajic will get the line for 2, but look at this. Shifty pass round the back dribble. There's McCormack, I think it was, who picks up the foul. You can see him there just having a word with the official afterwards, but it'll be a second foul on Owen McCormack. And timeout's been called on the floor. Bristol Flyers on top by 1. Welcome back to our coverage of the ENBL. Bristol Flyers with a 1-point lead here over Valmiera Glass. It's been a great game so far if you've just joined us. Back and forth between these two teams. Bristol looking for a win to keep their playoff hopes alive. Valmiera Glass looking for a win to punch their ticket to the postseason. Now Omar Pajic have a chance to retake the lead here at the free throw line. Able to knock down the first. 26-year-old from Bosnia and Herzegovina. Averaging 10 points in the ENBL this season. And he retakes the lead from the foul line and earns himself a well-earned break on the bench. Anderson brings it up over the halfway line, finds Delpesh. Here's Cam Holden now. Ball goes into McCormack. McCormack, nowhere to go, kicks it out, skip pass, Anderson. Here's McCormack for 3. Overcooks the triple that time. And the offensive rebound again is gobbled up by Bristol. Flyers active on the offensive glass here. Valmiera looking to go quickly, unable to do so. And here's Anderson to Joachim. Joachim for 3, knocks it down. A quick 5-0 run by the Flyers. Another timeout's called on the floor. An incredible momentum swing by Coach Kapoulis' side. And Bristol, who were trailing by 1 just a couple of moments ago, now with a 4-point lead here. Coach Vic Vargas has called a timeout here, looking to talk things through. Will Yoakum now 11 points to lead the way for the Flyers. Marcus Delpesh and Darnell Brody not too far behind on 8 points apiece. Here's a look at some of the key plays from this game as well. It's been back and forth between these two teams. Brown was able to get back in transition after committing that turnover. And Stenionis with the turnover at the other end freed up Walsh for a transition layup. But just over the last couple of possessions or so, Bristol have been able to turn defense into offense. They've grabbed offensive rebounds. They've knocked down their threes as well. Flyers 6 for 10 from 3 in this first half. Incredible shooting display so far by the Flyers. And that's one thing that's been their Achilles heel over the last few weeks, is their three-point shooting and their free throw shooting as well. Very impressive start here by the Flyers so far. Three-pointer on the way, no good that time. Rebound by Anderson. And again, Bristol, chance to turn the screw here. Walsh cutting back door. It's going to be a foul called on the entry pass. Just the first team foul on Valmiera. Just over 4 minutes to go till half-time. Anderson to put it in, gets it into Yoakum, and that's going to be an offensive foul against Will Yoakum. That'll be his second personal foul on this one. Here's Dominicus Stenionis, now finds Tate Jones. Vitols out to 8, he fakes it, takes it, overcooks it from 3. Delpesh just about grabs on hold on the rebound. Screen by Delpesh, here's Anderson weaving through traffic, extra pass, McCormack wide open for 3, knocks it down. And Bristol Flyers on fire in this first half from deep. The lead's out to 7 now, their biggest of the game so far. Stenionis looking inside, gets it back, has Holden on him here. Screen comes from Malmanis. Stenionis gets the switch, pulls up for 3, drains the 3. And Stenionis responds with a triple at the other end. Anderson, now Delpesh. Finds Yoakum, it's not loose. Yet it's not loose. And Valmiera come up with the steal. And Delpesh able to save it. Anderson has to shoot with the shot clock winding down. Delpesh can't grab hold of the offensive rebound. And a bit of a rushed offense there in the end by the Flyers. Unable to score on that possession. And now Valmiera, chance to make this a one-possession game once again. As Curtis Hollis checks into the game once more. Vitols. Guarded by Anderson. Screen comes from Malmanis. Vitols open for 3. He's short on the triple. Holden gathers in the rebound into a double team, and there's the foul by the hosts. And again, just a second team foul against Valmiera Glass, so not a particularly bad foul to give away there. The Flyers with numbers the other way. Anderson. Screen comes from Zach Anderson. He slips the screen. Ball goes into Brody. He's been fantastic this first half. And Brody kicks it out to Anderson for 3. Overcooked it that time, but there's Holden on the offensive rebound. Ball has to go up here. There's 3 on the shot clock. There's not time, Zach. Gets it off in time, puts it in. And Zach Anderson knew exactly how long was left on that shot clock. Hollis looking to score the other end, kicks it out. It's a mid-range 2 at the other end. Malmanis knocks it down. Valmiera Glass stay within touching distance here. Brody round the back pass to Holden. Holden backing down in the post. Here's Walsh now, back into Brody. It's going to be a foul called on the floor as Malmanis picks up the foul. Be a second personal foul on him. And renowned Malmanis takes a seat. Walsh. Walsh scoops it up. Brody again with the offensive rebound. Can't get it off that time. Walsh looking to get it inside to Brody, and Brody ends up committing the foul. And that'll be a 4th team foul against the Bristol Flyers. It's the first personal on Darnell Brody. Ball goes into Malmanis. He just made 1 mid-range 2. Chases down his own rebound though. Here he is backing down on Anderson. Nice move, good ball movement. 8, good rotation by Bristol on the defensive end. Here comes the 3-pointer. He's off the back iron. And what a great defensive position that was for the Flyers. And now Flyers are off to the races here. They got numbers if they're quick enough, but Valmiera do well to recover. And Bristol will slow this one down here. There's 10 on the shot clock. Anderson rejects the ball screen. Kicks out to Brody, top of the key for 2. Ball rims out. Couple of possessions left in this first half. Ball floated up, bobbles around. The shot is no good, and here come the Flyers the other way. As Holden able to save it from the trap, and Artis 8 commits the foul. 4th team foul on Valmiera Glass, so now there'll be a penalty for these last 16 seconds. Anderson to put it in, gets it into Zach Anderson. Joe Anderson winding this one down for the final possession of the first half. 5 seconds to go. Anderson to Anderson, and just miscommunication on the pass, and Coach Kapoulis liked what he saw there for the right look, but here comes a Hail Mary, and Anderson intercepts it. Anderson puts it up. That one will not be off in time. Ooh, almost got the drop though. And that will do it. Solid first half for the Bristol Flyers, and they will take a 4-point lead into the locker rooms at half-time. They lead 49 points to 45. Well, make sure you don't go away anywhere, because coming up at the half, we'll be looking back at all the highlights from the Bristol. Just run it.
Thatcher's Farm. Slightly obsessed perfectionists making cider with nothing but love. As you do. I mean, why grow 8 varieties of apple when you can grow 458? The Apple Spa. Because happy apples make better cider, obviously. Here comes the man himself, Martin Thatcher. Friday, 12:30, tasting time. It needs to hit the spot or not a drop will leave the farm. Yes! And that's why Thatcher's cider tastes the way it does. Perfect.
And the opening tip is won by the Flyers. And ENBL action is back underway here in Bristol.
Averaging 8 assists per game in the ENBL, so certainly a pass first point guard. So look for those assists during the game.
Joachim, oh, it's stolen away by Keys. And it's 2-on-1 for Fillingen, and Boona Black Njai gets the layup to go. Delpesh backing down inside, turnaround hook is good. And that's a textbook Marcus Delpesh move, that spinning hook with the left hand. 3-point game here at the Wise campus, 8.5 minutes to go till half-time. Holden, nice move, and Cam Holden with the finish off the glass. Holden goes past Black Njai, nice pass, and Marcus Delpesh throws it down with the right-handed hammer. Top to Fonge. Here's Abanago, again going downhill. Very impressed by Ethan Abanago in this first quarter. Hands off with Abanago. Keys sets the screen. Here comes another one from Joshua Keys. Abanago has an open lane. Again, can't finish, but there's Joshua Keys with the offensive rebound. Puts it in for 2. Here come Fillingen the other way. Esper, Keys. 3-pointer on the way. 3-pointer is good.
He's having himself a great game right now. Getting to the basket, knocking down threes. Just putting the Flyers defense on a lot of pressure.
Nice move by Anderson at the other end. Holden has it once again, looking to go at Jawara. Draws the foul, count it, and 1. Cam Holden to the line for a 3-point play.
Yeah, great attacking play there from Cam Holden. Flyers this time looking to spread the floor, playing 5 out by the looks of it. Again, holding that space, you can just see there. No one coming across to help. Lane was open, and that's a tough finish from Holden. And just missed the easy one.
McCormack fires up a 3. Can't get it to go, and again, Flyers ice cold from downtown. Now 4 for 14 as a team in this first half. Abanago, he's not ice cold, he's red hot. Ethan Abanago drains the triple. Canadell, followed by McCormack, ball goes into Keys. Keys goes up with it, can't get it to go. Good hands by Anderson. Keys still with it, second chance opportunity is good. Abanago finds Keys for 3, knocks it down. And Joshua Keys, shot clock at 10. Anderson to McCormack. McCormack to Anderson. Anderson for 3. Back to Anderson. How about a 3-ball? Is short. Black Njai with the rebound. Ball out to Keys. Extra pass to Abanago, who gets the lefty layup to go.
A couple of good looks, just not dropping for the Flyers.
Fonge inside to Keys. Keys against Delpesh. Turnaround, fade away. Gets the friendly roll. Joe Anderson. Delpesh rolls to the basket. Anderson drives inside. Joe Anderson, what a move. Oh, it's jammed in on the follow by Cam Holden. Guarded by Joachim. Abanago for 3. Knocks it down. And Ethan Abanago has put the team on his back here. 18 points now for the Fillingen Lions.
Unbelievable performance. Attacking the basket and out. Those threes dropping as well.
Ball into Anderson, puts it up and in. Espy inbounds it, ends up turning it over. And Flyers have numbers if they're quick enough. Ball into Anderson, he can't get the finish, but Cam Holden again, active on the offensive glass with the tip-in.
Good effort from Cam Holden, once more to get the 2 points, and good hands from Holden.
Holden coast to coast, off the steal, off the glass and in. And here's Abanago the other way. Keys fires up for a mid-range 2, knocks it down. Feeds it to Esper, who's going to push here in transition. Ball into Keys, extra pass to Jawara.
Behind the arc for the Bristol Flyers.
Final 10 seconds of the third. It's Canadell, guarded by Anderson. Ball goes into Keys, who floats it up and in. It was a beautiful dive. Fonge finds Lieback, shot clock down to 5. Lieback baseline drive, floats it up, floats it in. And it's the perfect start to the fourth quarter for Villingen.
Villingen Lions, just under 9 minutes to go.
Oh, it's stolen away by the Flyers, and Cam Holden throws it down with two hands. 3 for 19 as a team from deep in this game. Reverse layup is good at the other end. Here's Anderson. McCormack, extra pass to Holden. Delpesh fighting for it inside. Ball goes back to Joe Anderson. Anderson to McCormack. Here comes another three from the Flyers, and McCormack knocks it down. Boy, did the Bristol Flyers need that one to go. Esper. McCormack comes up to Hedge. Finds Keys, though. By Holden. Vanago for three. Splashes it from downtown.
Edging ahead.
5 minutes to go in this one. It's a 9-point lead for the visitors. Holden kicks out to Anderson for three. Knocks it down. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Anderson into Holden. Holden back to Anderson. Takes the three. Defender on the floor. Anderson downhill. Can't get it to go. Puts it in on the follow.
Chance opportunities.
Black Njai beats his defender. Kicks it out. Fonge for three. Knocks it down. Esper. Nowhere to go. Gets it into Anderson and stolen away. Flyers with numbers here. Zach Anderson puts it in, count it, and the foul. Joe Anderson has it. Beats the defender. Joachim looking to go back door. Finds Zach Anderson now. Back to Joe Anderson. Deep three ball. Knocks it down. And just when it mattered most, Joe Anderson with the three.
10 on the shot clock.
Here's Abanago, guarded by Anderson. Key sets the screen. Abanago, deep three. Off the glass and in. What a shot that is. That could be the dagger. Anderson looking to respond at the other end. He strings it for three. And it's turned into a shootout here, but it's a 2-point game. Flyers trailing by 2. 3.1 on the game clock. Ball into Anderson. Anderson has to shoot. Oh! Anderson knocks it down.
2.
And Bristol Flyers will force overtime. We've got 5 minutes of free basketball. Zach Anderson, an incredibly tough fadeaway two. And we are going to 5 minutes of OT. The officials are going to check it to make sure that he was inside the line. I mean, he was way inside the line. Yeah, foot inside there.
I think it was,
easy enough.
Away, it was a two.
The officials are over at the table here, so they're going to watch it back.
To win the game.
Overtime is underway. Fonge. Esper. Three-pointer is up. Three-pointer is good. And Eric Fonge, the perfect start to this overtime period. Anderson. Delpesh with the screen. Anderson swings to Joachim. Joachim back top to Joe Anderson. Anderson hesitates, stomps on a dime, pulls up for two, can't get it to go. Delpesh keeps it alive to Holden. He puts it up, count it, and the foul. And Cam Holden will go to the line to get 3 points the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, Holden, pump, big strong move there as well.
1 point lead for Villingen Lions. Esper downhill, lefty drive into Keys, is not loose. Keys still has it though. Here comes another three from Fonge, knocks it down.
Overtime period, back-to-back threes.
Joachim fakes the three, drives inside and floats it up and in for two. But they're trading twos for threes here in this overtime so far. Guarded by Joachim. Jai spins, puts it up, puts it in. Incredibly tough too. Anderson, Delpesh rolling to the basket. Holden, back to Anderson. Three-pointer again, no good. Delpesh on the offensive rebound and again jammed in by Cam Holden. Chance for Flyers to make it a one-possession game. Ball goes into Delpesh. Delpesh puts it up and in. And the timeout's called by Alex Black Njai. Ebanago gets it in to Keys. Keys guarded by Anderson. Spins, puts it up. Will it go? Yes, it will go. Anderson to Anderson. Fires up a three, is short. Rebound is secured. And that will do it. Phillingham Lions pick up their first ENBL win of the season. It took overtime to do it, but they have defeated the Bristol Flyers 91 points to 82.
Super League basketball is levelling up British youths. This isn't just a league, it's a movement you can feel and see in the stands. From the first tip to the final buzzer, the story is written. Every drive, every shot, and every moment. The rivalries run deeper, games hit harder. One pass, one dunk, everything can shift. Legacies aren't given here, they're earned. New stories are ready, and new champions are coming. Season 2 is here. Stand tall for British basketball.
Welcome back to the Valmiera Olympic Centre in Latvia, where at the half Bristol Flyers lead Valmiera Glass 49 points to 45 in this crucial European North Basketball League matchup. Of course, Flyers, this is a must-win game for them if they want to keep their ENBL playoff hopes alive. They'll then return back home to the SGS College Arena on Wednesday, February 11th, when Tautec Alexela from Estonia visit the SGS Wise campus. It is an 8 PM tip-off, and you can get tickets right now for that game over at bristolflyers.co.uk. Well, it's been a great game if you've just joined us here for this second half of action between the two teams. A couple of stats here for you. Bristol Flyers 50% from downtown in that first half. It's night and day from how their three-point shooting has been in their recent games. When the threes are dropping like that for Bristol, they are a completely different team. Will Yoakum, 11 first half points to lead the way for the Flyers. Delpesh and Brody, both 8 points apiece. Meanwhile, Valmiera Glass are led by 10 first half points from Dominicas Stenionis, the 24-year-old point guard. He's also got 5 assists as well. Well, both teams getting set to retake the floor here. A very tight game between these two sides. And Valmiera are looking to claim a place in the ENBL playoffs if they can pick up a win on their home court this evening. They've got a perfect 3-0 record at home in the European North Basketball League this season. Their only defeat was on the road away at St. Anix MBC. Going to be Aniwaniwa Tate Jones, who inbounds from the sideline. Stenionis, screen comes from Malmanis. Anderson gets his hands on it, and Flyers come away with the steal. And here's Yoakum in transition. Perfect start to the second half for Bristol. Tate Jones, another steal by the Flyers, and Will Yoakum coast to coast. Again, Bristol Flyers turning defense into offense. A quick 4 unanswered points to start this third period. Stenionis is 3, no good. Rebound Brody. And finds Joe Anderson, the point guard. Screen from Brody. Ball goes into Brody. Backing down, hook shot, gets the friendly roll. And it's a 6-0 run for the Flyers to start this third period. Tate Jones, skip pass. Stenionis swings it. 3-pointer again, no good. Tate Jones chases down the rebound. going to be a foul called against the Flyers. And Valmiera Glass will keep possession here. Stenionis to inbound. Goes into Malmanis. Here's Stenionis once again. It's been a great matchup here between these 2 point guards. Martis 8. 3-pointer on the way. Again bobbles out. Offensive rebound is chased down. And Brown comes away with it. Good defense by the Flyers. Anderson weaves his way through traffic, floats it up, floats it in. And Bristol Flyers, 8-0 run to start this third quarter here. Double-digit lead for Coach Kapoulis' side. Mid-range 2, bobbles in and out, rebound by Zach Anderson. The Flyers again looking to turn the screw here. Holden, skip pass, and there's no one on the end of it. Aniwa Tate Jones throws it down with 2 hands. And could that be the spark that Valmiera Glass need to chip away at this 10-point advantage here? Holden hands off with Brown. Foul is called. It's going to be called on Davis Ozers. See it here, bumps into Holden. Now, Curtis Hollis checks back into the game. Flyers have done well to keep him quiet in this game so far. Just 5 points for him. He's one of their leading scorers this season. Anderson downhill. Oh my goodness. Joe Anderson just weaving through traffic with the layup. Point lead now for the Bristol Flyers. Hollis for 3 on the wing, strings it in response. Hollis now 8 points so far in this one. Brody back out to Anderson. Anderson, another 3 ball. It drops for 3. I couldn't quite see it from our angle, but the 3-pointer is good for Joe Anderson. Bristol Flyers on fire from deep in this game so far. Now 8 for 15. Valmiera Glass on the other hand. Missed 3. Here comes Brown the other way. Is wrapped up for a jump ball. And Omar Pajic does well in transition to wrap that one up there. As Marcus Delpesh returns to the game for the Flyers. Into Delpesh. Here's Anderson now. Brown. Delpesh with the screen. Still with Brown. Brown pulls up for a mid-range 2. Strings it. Nothing but net for JB. And Flyers come away with the steal. Here's Brown for 3. Not this time. That one could have been a dagger as Holden pokes it loose. And again, Bristol Flyers, active hands here. Flyers force another possession. The officials have just stopped the game here as Vitols looks like he may have picked up an injury there as he heads to the bench to receive some treatment. And Dominicos Stenionis comes back into the game. McCormack goes into Holden. Holden into a double. Nice pass. Oh, it's blocked. Still with Delpesh. He keeps it alive into a double team. Delpesh nowhere to go. And somehow Delpesh with the lefty hook. No foul given by the officials, but 2 points is 2 points. And Bristol Flyers stretch it out to a 16-point lead here away from home. 3-pointer on the way is good. And Omar Pajic with the three. Much needed triple by Valmiera Glass. The Flyers have stunned the hosts here in this third quarter. 17 points to 5 so far in this period. Here's McCormack for three. Ball bobbles in and out. Holden with the offensive rebound. Oh, it's stripped away. And Tate Jones downhill. Blocked by JB, but it's going to be a goaltend. Basket will count there, and Tate Jones was looking for a foul perhaps in there too. So the basket will count for Valmiera Glass. Cuts it down to a 12-point game. The officials are going to look at this one here as well. And that's the thing in European North Basketball League. They do have the ability to review the footage. Both coaches get a challenge they can use throughout the game. What a third quarter this has been for the Bristol Flyers so far. They've outscored Valmiera Glass 17 points to 9. They've really come out the hotter of the two teams from the halftime break. Will Yoakum now up to 15 points to lead the way for Bristol. Joe Anderson has 13, Brody has 10, Delpesh has 10. And when the offense is coming from a whole bunch of different places for Bristol, it certainly has been when they've been their best this season. Aniwaniwa Tate Jones now up to 13 points. Perhaps it could be an extra 2 if this one is given. The basket does count. The Bristol ball here from the baseline. Anderson, guarded by Stenionis. Cormac slips the screen. Here's Evan Walsh now. Walsh to Brown. A small lineup here for the Flyers. Delpesh nowhere to go. Cormac was cutting back door, and Delpesh just threw it a little bit out of reach for him. And Valmiera Glass forced the Flyers turnover. This game by far out of reach for Valmiera Glass here. 12-point deficit. Here's a 3 from Hollis, is no good. Offensive rebound is chased down by Stenionis, and Anderson is the one who picks up the foul. You see it, Hollis's 3 went up, the long rebound fell to Stenionis, and then Anderson just pulled for the contact there. Hollis, guarded by Cormac. Hollis gets it back. Thought about the 3, pulls up for 2. Off the back iron, no good, and the foul is called on the offensive end. It's going to be called on Omar Pajic. As Anderson took one in the face. Officials just having a discussion here at the bottom of your screen. They are going to want to take a look at that foul as well. So, little break in play here. Both coaches getting a free timeout out of this one. course, it's a hugely important game for both of these sides. So any extra timeouts that these coaches can get, they certainly will take them. Of course, Valmiera Glass looking for a win to punch their ticket to the ENBL playoffs, while the Flyers, they are looking to keep their playoff hopes alive. It won't guarantee their playoff hopes will be alive if they get a win. They need to win their last 2 games. I hope they have enough points difference to make it into the top 16. Of course, if you're new to ENBL, it's a new format this season. Top 16 teams make it through to the postseason. First place 16th, second place 15th, and so on, in a single elimination round at the higher legs, at the higher team's home venue. And then the winners of that single game will go on to a 2-legged aggregate quarter-final, with the final 4 being held later this year to crown the next ENBL champions at the end of the season. Well, back underway. Here's Joe Anderson. Guided by Stenionis. Cormac. Back to Anderson. Anderson with a mismatch here. Pulls up from a mid-range 2. Knocks it down. And Joe Anderson with the speed advantage. Knocks it down for 2. Pushes it back out to a 14-point lead for the Flyers. Anderson gets hands on it there. Bristol been really impressive out of the half-time break here. 17 points to 9 so far in this third quarter. Stenionis slips the screen. Tate Jones backing down on Anderson, fading away off the back iron. And Walsh with the rebound. Oh, it's stolen away by Hollis. Hollis pulls up for 2, gets it to go off the glass. And again, that's Valmiera capitalizing on Bristol Flyers turnovers. Anderson gets it over this time. Brown. Ball goes into McCormack. Again, Valmiera hands all over the place. And they come up with a stop. Here's Stenionis. Looking inside to thread the needle, and ball out to Walsh in transition. Evan Walsh, what a move. Euro step reverse finish off the glass. Well, that mid-range 2 is way off the mark by Pajic. Here's Joe Anderson, just over 2 minutes to go until the end of the third, and Zach Anderson for 3, can't get the drop. All last touched by the Flyers. Darnell Brody back into the game for Bristol. 10 points, 3 rebounds so far in this one for him. Valmiera Glass trailing this one by 14 points. Tate Jones, guarded by Anderson, fakes it once, twice, turnaround hook, off the glass of the friendly roll. And Aniwaniwa Tate Jones now up to 15 points to go along with his 6 rebounds. So that's bang on his ENBL average this season. Walsh at the elbow, ball goes into Brody, back out to Walsh, downhill. Walsh draws the foul. And Evan Walsh just brings that new dimension to the Flyers, that ability to create dribble penetration, get those paint touches. His ability to beat defenders off the dribble certainly was what made him such a fan favourite with the Bristol Flyers fans last season. The news of his return went down so well with the Flyers faithful. Of course, playing 6-game spell out in the German second tier as an injury replacement contract. Expired very recently, and of course Flyers short-handed with the injury to Milos Duglic. And Evan Walsh made his return. Full court pressure being shown by the Flyers. Here's Tate Jones, nice pass into Hollis. Blows the layup. It will be a foul called. So that will send Curtis Hollis to the line for 2. And the foul will be called on Anderson. Well, Curtis Hollis at the line. He joined the club in December on a short-term injury replacement contract himself. Former Finnish Korisliiga champion with the Helsinki Seagulls. CEBL champion in 2025 out in Canada with the Niagara River Lions. Certainly has been a great addition to this Valmiera Glass team since his arrival in mid-December. Averaging 15 points, 4 rebounds a game in the domestic league since his arrival. He now cuts it down to a 12-point game with just over a minute to go till the end of the third. Here's Anderson. Anderson can't get the 2 to go. And Tate Jones with the rebound. Final minute of the third quarter here. Chance for the host to cut it down to 10. Stenionis fires up a 3. Good box out by Anderson. He ends up with the rebound. There's a couple of possessions left in this third period. Here's Brown into Brody. Back to JB. Brody kicks it into McCormack. McCormack, nice fake, nice make. And McCormack, good recognition to find the mismatch as he had a lot of patience to get that hook shot off. He re-establishes that 14-point lead for Bristol. Final 10 seconds of the third. Stenionis, nowhere to go, kicks it out. Hollis has to shoot, puts it up, it will not go. And at the end of the third quarter, it is Bristol Flyers with a 14-point lead over Valmiera Glass. Welcome back to the Valmiera Olympic Centre in Latvia, where the visiting Bristol Flyers have a 14-point lead over Valmiera Glass at the end of the third quarter. It was an impressive third period by Coach Kapoulis' side. They outscored Valmiera Glass 25 points to 15. Their three-point shooting really has been great tonight. 8 for 18 now. It's dropped off a little bit since the first half. But it was a couple of back-to-back stops by the Flyers that's really set the tone in this third quarter. And even with Tate Jones at the other end, he leads the way for the hosts with 15 points and 7 rebounds. But Bristol Flyers on the verge here of snapping a bad run of form, which has seen them win just 1 in their last 11 games across all competitions. Of course, they've got a pair of games coming up this weekend in the domestic Super League basketball. Travel to fellow ENBL side Newcastle Eagles on Friday for welcoming the Leicester Riders to the SGS College Arena on Sunday. So no rest for the wicked for Coach Kapoulis' side. They're in a period of 9 games through January. They had around 3 games through the festive period as well. And I guess if you're a player, you'd always rather play games than practice, but this is the moment where the fatigue really will be tested in this Flyers side. And for Valmiera Glass, they are 3-0 on their home court this season in the ENBL. They will not want to pick up a first home defeat of the season. Fourth quarter is about to get underway. Stenionis to Malmanis. Stenionis again. 3-pointer by 8. Bobbles in and out. And Darnell Brody with the rebound. His 4th of the game. Brody fighting for position inside. Ball goes top to Walsh. Now back into Brody. Kicks out to McCormack for 3. And it's a perfect start to the 4th for Bristol. Owen McCormack just picking up where Bristol left off. Drains the triple. He's now got 11 points to his name as Brody commits the foul on the floor. Hollister put it in from the sideline. Stenionis. Manis with the screen. Ball goes inside to Malmanis. Floats it up and in. And Rinald's Malmanis, 4 points to his name in this game. A quiet night for him, the starting centre. Brody. Now Holden. Walsh curling off the screen. Gets it back. Off the glass, no good, but tips it to Brody on the offensive rebound. Flyers with a new 14, and Anderson with the 3. Timeout called on the floor. Bristol Flyers running riot in Latvia. Well, what can you say about the way Bristol Flyers have started this 4th quarter? Couple of back-to-back threes from McCormack and Anderson. And just like that, Valmiera Glass are staring down the barrel with an 18-point deficit here. Work to do for the host now. They've got a long way to go in this one. The full court pressure being shown by the Flyers. Hollis gets it into Malmanis. Now Stenionis. Malmanis rolling to the basket. Holden with the hand in the face. Stenionis' mid-range 2 no good. And the rebound secured by Bristol. Anderson, he's the defender. Out to Cam Holden. Ball goes into Brody. Backing down on Stenionis, kicks it out to McCormack. Here comes another 3 ball, another 3-pointer drops for Bristol. Owen McCormack on fire. Going to be an offensive foul at the other end as well. Everything going Bristol's way in this 4th quarter. Look at the ball movement by Bristol. The confidence is up. They've got their mojo back. Evan Walsh at the other end, putting his body on the line. Flyers on top by 21 here. Bit of a zone being shown now by Valmiera. Ball goes into McCormack and the zone pays off. Valmiera just shifting it up on the defensive end as Aniwaniwa Tate Jones with the lefty layup. Now gets his tally up to 17. It's almost a 2-3, isn't it? Ball goes out to McCormack again for 3. It is raining threes in Latvia right now. Tate Jones. Stenionis. Oh, Malmanis even, I beg your pardon. Gets it to go for 2. Holden, open for 3. Ball bobbles around and gets the drop. How about another one? And Bristol Flyers keep throwing haymaker after haymaker. Malmanis' mid-range 2, no good. Brody with the rebound. Bristol Flyers really running away with this one. Anderson. McCormack to Brody. The elbow. Walsh. Walsh puts it on the floor, able to find a way to the basket, count it, and the foul. And Evan Walsh will guddle the line to earn 3 points the old-fashioned way. Bristol finding a way, 3 after 3, and if it's not a 3-pointer, it's an and 1. Timeout called on the floor. Well, Bristol Flyers really running away with this one. It was an incredible third quarter for them. They outscored Valmiera Glass 25-15. In the fourth quarter, they've outscored Valmiera 17 points to 6 so far. Here's a look at some of the key plays. Evan Walsh putting his body on the line. And Aniwaniwa Tate Jones going coast to coast, but it has been one-way traffic for the Bristol Flyers in this game. Will Yoakum has 15 points. Joe Anderson now up to 18. I mean, you look down the stat sheet. Joe Anderson on 18, Owen McCormack on 17, Yoakum on 15. It has been an incredible day at the office for Coach Kapoulis and his team. And they are well on the way to snapping this bad run of form, which has seen them win just 1 in their last 11 games. Well, Evan Walsh out the line. Chance to convert here on a 3-point play. He now gets his tally up to 12 points. Now 6 Flyers in double figures here. Hollis. Knocked loose by Holden. And last touch by the Flyers. Hollis to inbound. Gets it into Tate Jones. He fires up a 3. Front irons it. Rebound for Holden. And that is Cam Holden's 4th rebound of the game. He's also got 7 assists in this game. Anderson. Swings to McCormack now. Here's Walsh. Brody calling for it inside. Ends up with him. Kicks it back out to Walsh. He drives baseline. Scoops it round with a reverse layup as the shot clock expires. And Bristol Flyers now 28-point lead. Hollis knocks it down off the glass at the other end. Anderson beats the full court pressure. McCormack at the other end. He responds with a 3. And the Bristol Flyers cannot stop shooting a 3 right now. Tate Jones, mid-range 2, no good. Walsh with the rebound. Bristol Flyers putting Valmiera Glass to the sword here. Holden, turnaround hook. Thought about it and got the drop. Flyers with a 30-point lead here on the road. This game's just been blown wide open in this second half. And Valmiera with an air ball. The fans have been stunned here in Latvia. And Owen McCormack, a couple of back-to-back threes in this fourth quarter. Now up to 20 points to lead the way for Flyers, and it's stolen away at the other end. And Tate Jones with the flush. Four and a half minutes to go in this one. Flyers looking to break the 100-point mark here. Anderson, Delpesh with the screen. Anderson floats it up. Anderson with the drop. Three-pointer by Stenionis is no good. Walsh with the rebound, loses it, but chases it down. And Valmiera Glass put it in. Ozers with the two. Here's Cam Holden. He fires up a three. Why not? Everything's been dropping for Bristol in this fourth quarter. Here comes a three at the other end. Is short. I think Holden might have got a piece on that one. And a foul is called away from the ball. There you see it. There's Hollis just picks it up for reaching in. Timeout called on the floor. Flyers leading 101-73. Well, what a second half performance this has been for Bristol Flyers. You felt that they just lost their spark over the last few weeks. Had injury problems. They had a really busy schedule. But a big statement win on the road in Latvia in the European Basketball League will keep their ENBL playoff hopes alive just a little bit longer. And they will head back home in their final ENBL game when they take on Tautek Alexela next month. And that game could be crucial in determining whether or not the Flyers could make the playoffs themselves. A win like this tonight for Bristol will certainly do their confidence a whole lot of good as they prepare for a big doubleheader weekend when they travel to Newcastle on Friday and then face Leicester Riders back at home on Sunday. Just under 3.5 minutes to go in this one. Flyers on top by 28 points here. Anderson to Walsh, skip pass. They've left Zach Anderson open for three, and he punishes them from downtown. Bristol Flyers 15 for 26 as a team from deep in this game. Hollis, guarded by Holden. Hollis for three, knocks it down. Here's Joe Anderson. Anderson pulls it back out. Here's Holden now. Holden beats the defender. Ball goes into Delpesh. Can't get the layup to go off the glass though. And the rebound is secured by Pajic. Here's the three again by Hollis. There are back-to-back threes for him. He'll certainly want to end this game the right way for Valmiera. Anderson. Another three-pointer on the way. This time rims out. Stenionis. Oh, nice pass. And Omar Pajic with the finish. As Coach Kapoulas calls a timeout, just looks to talk things through here. Flyers on top, 104-81. Well, the thing you also have to remember here is not only do the Flyers want to win this game, but they want to win by a high margin because, as we say, if the Flyers do somehow finish 4-4 in their group phase play, it will come down to points difference against the other teams that finish 4-4 as to who gets in and who misses out on the playoffs. So every point matters here. Despite Bristol having a big lead, they'll want to run up the score as high as possible to give them the very best possible chance of qualifying for the ENBL playoffs. So, just over a minute and a half to go then in this one. Anderson splits the defense. Here's JB. He turns the corner. Skip pass out to Anderson. Joachim has it now. He fires up a three. Is short. Rebound by Stenionis. Stenionis downhill, kicks it out. Extra pass from Hollis. Three-pointer on the way off the back iron. Chased down. Here comes another three. Is good this time for Ozers. And what was a 30-point lead for the Flyers is now down to 20. Final minute here. Delpesh turns the corner. Able to draw the foul. Will be on the floor though, as Ozers commits the foul. Anderson to put it in here. Anderson for three, bobbles in and out. Rebound secured by Pajic. Two-pointer on the way, another three drops. Ozers, the back-to-back triples to end this game. Anderson splits the defense. Joachim with the baseline drive. Eurostep puts it into Delpesh, puts it up. Can't get the drop, but he'll go to the line. Chance to shoot two here. And Marcus Delpesh, 10 points for him in this one here. 4 rebounds as well off the bench. And a solid performance from him tonight. And look at the numbers. I mean, Anderson with 20, McCormack with 20 points. Joachim with 15. It's been a very well-rounded offensive display from the Flyers here tonight. Could this be the spark that Bristol need to get their season back on track now? Delpesh makes no mistakes from the line. And we spoke about free throw shooting as well, being Flyers' Achilles heel. Bristol 6 for 6 from the line tonight. Just shows the effort plays and the concentration by the visitors in this one. And they will be the team that goes home with the win here tonight. Of course, as you mentioned, the points differential still hugely important for Bristol Flyers, so Coach Kapoulas looks to get every second out of this timeout. He'll want his side to have the biggest lead possible to give his team every chance of possibly qualifying for the playoffs. Of course, they will have to also beat Caltech Alexela at home in February. And Valmiera Glass, they will pick up their first ENBL home defeat of the season. Their only other defeat this season in Europe coming at the hands of Centenix NBC. Well, we'll be steady on this to inbound here from the sideline. Valmiera Glass will want to finish this one the right way. Ball goes into Tate Jones. Tate Jones going at Anderson, fakes it once, twice, puts it in off the glass. Ball goes into Brown, into a triple team here. Brown coughs it up. Again, Flyers with the turnover. And Hollis with the layup, blows the layup at the other end. Somehow, third chance opportunity put in by Tate Jones. Holden slips. And again, wow, what a crazy finish to this game. But Bristol Flyers will come out on top with the win. They have defeated Valmiera Glass and keep their playoff hopes alive in the European North Basketball League. An incredible win from them, 106-91, the final score. An incredible team performance by the Flyers, led by Joe Anderson and Owen McCormack, both with 20 points. And they will head into a doubleheader in Super League basketball this weekend, full of confidence as they snap a very bad run of form, which has saw them win just one of their last 11 games. Here's a look at some of the key plays from this one in the fourth quarter. Owen McCormack just caught fire with a pair of back-to-back threes. That's really where he did his damage. Andy Waniwa, Tate Jones, 23 points, 8 rebounds for the hosts. But it wasn't enough from the supporting class for Valmiera Glass, and they will suffer their first home defeat of the ENBL season. Well, that's going to do it for our coverage here. For Joel Osborne, I'm saying so long, and we'll see you next time.